apa abang? Okey, duk buat apa tu? Sihat dah? Okey, semua harap-harap semua sihat dah. Okey, saya lah ni berada di Pattaya. Okey, di Pattaya City. Okey, nak bagi tahu. Tak lama lagi, dalam minggu depan ada Pattaya Music Festival. Okey. The biggest festival on the beach. Okey, tu nak bagi tahu kat hampa. Dan siapa cucuk ke tak cucuk ke, hampa tetap boleh main Pattaya ataupun hang boleh main Thailand. Welcome to Thailand. Welcome to Thailand. Cucuk tak cucuk tetap boleh main. Tak percaya? Boleh dengar.
2 is for fully vaccinated, they're not in a group of no quarantine, and the last one is for non-vaccination. In this video is for non-vaccination. No vaccine, no problem. Welcome to Thailand! Sawadika! It's me, Taya. If you want to know more about Thailand, please make sure to subscribe and hit the bell so you will not miss anything about my country. I think you know that Thailand is starting to open more tourists to visit Thailand. First of all, let me tell you, please don't feel upset like, hey, how about non-vaccination? How can you come to Thailand? Of course, everyone can come to Thailand, but of course, Thailand have the rule to protect the safety for people in the country. So the rule that Thailand set for you is like, when you come here, you need to do a quarantine. So this kind of programs is called Entry Thailand under the Alternative Quarantine or AQ. And this program calls Happy Quarantine. Let's see if you're going to be happy or not. Quarantine for this group is like you have to stay inside the hotel. But from the 1st of November this year, they kind of relaxed for you guys who come for quarantine to be able to go out of your room and just use facilities in your hotel room. But that's only you're not allowed to go out of the hotel. So it's not quite bad, isn't it? If you just choose the right hotel quarantine, I think you're going to be less feeling uncomfortable, I believe. I mean, if you have to be in your hotel for too many days, only in a hotel room and not allowed to go out, it could be a little bit difficult for some of you guys. I mean, but the quarantine for this group, we have 3 types of quarantine days. First one is 7 days quarantine and 10 days quarantine and 14 days quarantine. 7 days quarantine group is for a person who are fully vaccinated. But why you stay for 7 days quarantine? In case you don't enter to the blue zone area. So the blue zone area, it has 17 provinces. Let me tell you where is 17 provinces of blue zone.
Welcome to Thailand. Cucuk tak cucuk?
Again, you're not entering
Mesti
to
boleh
the
main.
blue zone, but you are going to enter outside of blue zone. You need to quarantine first before you going anywhere. This is for 7 days quarantine. Another one is 10 days quarantine. 10 days quarantine is for a person who are not vaccinated and you come by flight, or the one who's not in the type of the list of vaccine which is approved by the Ministry of Public Health. You have to do a quarantine for 10 days before you go out. And another type of quarantine is 14 days quarantine. 14 days quarantine is for any of you guys who travel to Thailand by land. If you come by land and you're not vaccinated or you get a different vaccine type, you have to do a quarantine for 14 days. Just because of that, they found that anybody who enter Thailand by land usually still have a lot of high risk of COVID-19. That is why it's a little bit longer than other groups. So if you have a plan to come to Thailand, what you have to prepare to do? First of all, you have to check first where you're going to. If you come to blue zone area and you are not vaccinated, you can just choose the hotel hotel which is called alternative quarantine hotel. The price of alternative quarantine hotel is a package. And this package is already included with the transportation, which is going to pick you up at the airport. It's going to include with the RT-PCR test during your quarantine time in the hotel. And also, it's usually included with all the food, all the meal, because you're not allowed to go out of the hotel. But however, this price, the package price, is really depending on each hotel's package. So you may need to ask each hotel package what kind of room that they have. And after you make a booking with a hotel, you just have to pay first. You have to pay, and then you're going to get a confirmation letter. You have to use this confirmation letter to fill in a form of Thailand pass. Later, I'm going to talk about it later. And also, you need to have a health insurance, which is include and covering COVID-19 as well. And the coverage is at least $50,000 US. And then you can have the insurance from your country, or you can buy insurance in Thailand. And if you don't know who to buy insurance with, you can buy insurance with me. I also sell insurance as well. Anyway, and after you prepare all that document, you can just start to apply Thailand Pass. Thailand Pass, in case you don't know what it is, it's just like a health passport, should I say that? Or it's just like a ticket for entering Thailand. So if you don't have that kind of Thailand Pass, you will not allowed to come to Thailand. Just because of when you apply Thailand Pass, you're going to get a QR code. Once when you are just about to leave, you check in at the airport, they're going to request you to show QR code before traveling to Thailand. And that is why you really need to apply Thailand Pass after all of your document is ready. Another thing that you have to be ready and just be aware is 72 hours before you fly to Thailand, you need to have RT-PCR test to show at the airport before you departure that you are COVID-19 free. And then you just process to come to fly to Thailand. In case you're going to fly to Phuket, for example, you want to do a quarantine in Phuket for 10 nights, you just have to get the flight which is direct flight. Direct flight means you can change the flight in another country, but you're not allowed to change the flight in Bangkok and then change to the domestic flight to Phuket. That one is not allowed. The reason is if you change the flight in Bangkok